Here is a clear, structured, exam-oriented explanation of the National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, and National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT, under Sections 407 to 434 of the Companies Act, 2013. NCLT and NCLAT, Sec. 407 to 434, Constitution, Powers, Jurisdiction, Procedure and Judicial Review. 1. Introduction. The Companies Act, 2013 replaced the Company Law Board, CLB, with a specialized judicial forum. NCLT, First Instance Tribunal. NCLAT, Appellate Tribunal. They handle company law matters, including oppression and mismanagement, amalgamations, winding up, and later IBC insolvency matters. 2. Constitution, Sec. 408 to 410, A, National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, Sec. 408, constituted by the central government. Consists of, O President or judicial members or technical members. Members are appointed by a selection committee. O Chief Justice of India, or nominee, Chair or Secretaries of Corporate Affairs and Finance or Secretary of the Ministry from which technical member is chosen. O Chief Justice of India, or nominee, Chair or Secretaries of Corporate Affairs and Finance or Secretary of the Ministry from which technical member is chosen. B. National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT, Sec. 410, also constituted by the central government. Includes, O Chairperson or judicial members or technical members. Tenure, 5 years, eligible for reappointment, Sec. 413. Qualification, Sec. 409. Judicial member, High Court Judge, District Judge for 5 years, or equivalent judicial experience. Technical member, expert in corporate law, industrial finance, management, accounting, etc. 3. Powers and jurisdiction, A. Powers of NCLT. NCLT exercises all powers earlier exercised by the CLB, along with broader jurisdiction under the Companies Act. Key jurisdictions. Section. Matter. Jurisdiction of NCLT. Sec. 7. Incorporation obtained by fraud. Power to cancel registration. Sec. 48. Variation of shareholders' rights. Approve or cancel variation. Sec. 58 to 59. Refusal, rectification of share transfer. Adjudication. Sec. 73 to 76. Deposits. Repayment orders. Sec. 131 to 132. Reopening and revision of accounts. Tribunal approval needed. Sec. 241 to 242. Oppression and mismanagement. Wide remedial powers. Section. Matter. Jurisdiction of NCLT. Sec. 230 to 232. Compromise, arrangement and amalgamation approval of schemes. Sec. 271 to 272. Winding up. Orders for winding up. Sec. 241, 2. Investigation based on government reference. Ordering investigations. Sec. 245. Class action suits. Approving maintainability. IBC, 2016 Corporate Insolvency Resolution and Liquidation. NCLT equals adjudicating authority. B. Powers of NCLAT. Here's appeals from NCLT, Sec. 410. Here's appeals from IB and CIRP decisions under IBC. Decisions appealable to Supreme Court under Sec. 423, but only on questions of law. 4. Procedure before NCLT, NCLAT, Sec. 424 to 425, A. Procedure, Sec. 424. Not bound by the Civil Procedure Code, CPC. Guided by, O Principles of Natural Justice or Tribunal's Own Rules, NCLT Rules, 2016. Key procedural powers. Regulate its own procedure. Receive evidence on affidavits. Issue commissions for examination. Review its own orders, Sec. 4202. Grant interim orders, injunctions, stay, etc. Power of contempt, Sec. 425, similar to High Court. 5. Appeals, Sec. 421 to 423, A. Appeal from NCLT to NCLAT, Sec. 421. Must be filed within 45 days, extendable by 45 more days on sufficient cause. B. Appeal from NCLAT to Supreme Court, Sec. 423. Must be filed within 60 days, extendable by 60 days. Only on questions of law. 6. Judicial review. Even though NCLT, NCLAT are specialized tribunals, judicial review is preserved. A. Supreme Court review. Under Sec. 423 on questions of law. Under Article 136 special leave to appeal. B. High Court review. Articles 226-227 of Constitution permit. Writs for violation of natural justice. Lack of jurisdiction. Abuse of power. Patent illegality. However, high courts usually avoid interfering when alternate remedies, appeal to NCLAT or SC, exist. Doctrine of exhaustion of remedies. Important case law. 1. Union of India v. R. Gandhi 2010-11 S. C. C10 upheld the constitutional validity of NCLT, NCLAT. O ensured judicial independence by prescribing selection safeguards. 2. Madras Bar Association v. Union of India, 2020 and 2021, O reiterated independence of tribunals. O struck down provisions undermining tenure and appointment norms. 7. Key Sections Summary, 407 to 434. Section. Content 407. Definition of Tribunal 408. Constitution of NCLT 409. Qualifications of members 410. Constitution of NCLAT 411 to 413. Composition, salaries, tenure 420. Orders of Tribunal 421. Appeal to NCLAT 423. Appeal to Supreme Court 424. Procedure 425. Contempt powers 426 to 434. Enforcement, transitional provisions. Star. Short exam notes, perfect for the 5th of October 15 marks. 5 marks. NCLT is a quasi-judicial body under Sec. 408. Jurisdiction includes oppression, mismanagement, arrangements, winding up, deposit matters, etc. Not bound by CPC, follows natural justice, Sec. 424. 10 marks. Explain Constitution of NCLT, NCLAT, qualifications, term, independence, R. Gandhi case. Discuss powers under Sec. 230 to 232, 241 to 242, 271, etc. Appeals under Sec. 421 to 423. 15 marks. Add judicial review and constitutional challenges. Discuss the impact of IBC, NCLT as adjudicating authority. Summaries of important case laws are Gandhi, Madras Bar Association. If you want, I can also give case briefs of NCLT, NCLAT landmark judgments. Memory tricks for sections. Here is a clear, concise, exam-oriented case brief of Madras Bar Association v. Union of India and ANR, writ petition, C. Note 1072 of 2013, decision dated the 14th of May 2015. Star Madras Bar Association v. Union of India, 2015. WP, C. Note 1072 of 2013, decided on the 14th of May 2015, Supreme Court, Constitution Bench, 5 judges. 1. Background of the case. The Companies Act, 2013, Sections 408 to 434, established National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT. National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT. The Madras Bar Association, MBA, challenged certain provisions of the 2013 Act relating to Constitution of NCLT, NCLAT. Qualifications, appointment, tenure, and removal of judicial and technical members. Alleged violation of independence of the judiciary. This case followed earlier challenges in Union of India v. R. Gandhi 2010-11 S. C. C1. The 2015 judgment examined whether the new 2013 Act complied with the safeguards laid down in R. Gandhi, 2010. 2. Issues before the court. KeyCap 1. Whether creation of NCLT and NCLAT under the Companies Act, 2013 is constitutionally valid. KeyCap 2. Whether provisions relating to appointments, qualifications, tenure, and composition violate separation of powers, judicial independence, basic structure of the Constitution. KeyCap 3. Whether technical members were being given judicial powers contrary to constitutional norms. 3. Arguments. Petitioner, Madras Bar Association. Executive-dominated selection committee undermines independence. Technical members given excessive adjudicatory power. Tenure and removal provisions make members dependent on executive. Violates principles laid down in R. Gandhi, 2010. Union of India. Tribunal system is necessary for specialized adjudication. The Act provides adequate safeguards. Technical members are essential due to the complexity of company law and insolvency matters. 4. Decision, the 14th of May 2015, held partly valid, partly unconstitutional. The Supreme Court upheld the constitutional validity of NCLT and NCLAT but struck down or read down several provisions concerning appointments and composition. 5. Key holdings of the court. Are NCLT and NCLAT are constitutionally valid. The court reaffirmed R. Gandhi, 2010, and held. Parliament has competence to transfer jurisdictions from civil courts to tribunals. Creation of NCLT and NCLAT does not violate separation of powers. Tribunals can replace high courts in certain specialized domains, provided judicial independence is protected. B. But several provisions of the Companies Act, 2013 violated judicial independence. KeyCap 1. Selection committee violated separation of powers. The original composition allowed executive dominance. Court mandated. Chief Justice of India or nominee must chair the selection committee. Judicial members must have equal or greater representation than executive members. KeyCap 2. Qualifications of members unconstitutional. The Act allowed non-judicial persons to act as judicial members. Court held. Only persons with judicial experience, HC judge, district judge, or equivalent, can be judicial members. Technical members cannot perform judicial functions. KeyCap 3. Tenure and retirement violated independence. The short tenure, 3 years, was held unconstitutional. Court directed. Minimum tenure of 5 years, extendable. Higher retirement age aligned with judicial standards. KeyCap 4. Removal procedure required judicial safeguards. Executive controlled removal was struck down. Court required. Removal must involve a judicial inquiry, similar to High Court judges. KeyCap 5. Composition of benches. Benches must have a majority of judicial members for adjudication. Technical members may assist but cannot dominate judicial decision-making. 6. Ratio decidendi, legal principle. Checkmark tribunals replacing high courts must have structural independence equivalent to the judiciary. Checkmark executive cannot control appointments, tenure, or removal of tribunal members. Checkmark judicial members must constitute the core adjudicatory component. Checkmark technical members can assist but cannot perform exclusively judicial functions. This judgment strengthened the doctrine of separation of powers and independence of tribunals. 7. Significance of the judgment. 1. Strengthened tribunal independence. Reduced executive control. Increased judicial oversight. 2. Set standards for tribunal appointments across India. Subsequent tribunals, e.g., IBC, GST Appellate Tribunal, follow these norms. 3. Ensured NCLT, NCLAT function like courts. Judicial members dominate. Better quality adjudication. 4. Influenced later cases. Madras Bar Association, 2020. Madras Bar Association, 2021, these built upon this 2015 ruling to further secure tribunal independence. 8. Exam-oriented summary, perfect for the 5th of October 15 marks. For 5 marks, court upheld NCLT and NCLAT. Struck down provisions violating judicial independence. Ensured judicial dominance in selection, tenure, and removal. For 10 marks, discuss background, issues, key unconstitutional provisions. Explain modifications mandated by the court. Emphasize judicial independence plus R. Gandhi precedent. For 15 marks, Add analysis of separation of powers, basic structure doctrine. Impact on tribunalization in India. Mention subsequent reinforcement in MBA cases, 2020 and 2021. If you want, I can also prepare our own page revision chart, a side-by-side comparison of R. Gandhi, 2010, and MBA, 2015. A short answer version for university exams. Would you like that? Here is a crisp, exam-ready explanation of the principles laid down in Union of India v. R. Gandhi, 2010-11 S.C. C. 1, the foundational case on tribunal independence, especially relevant for NCLT, NCLAT. Star Principles of R. Gandhi Case, 2010, Key Doctrines. The Supreme Court upheld the creation of NCLT and NCLAT, but laid down strict constitutional safeguards to ensure judicial independence and prevent executive control over tribunals. Checkmark 1. Tribunals cannot become instruments of executive control. The court held, if tribunals replace courts, they must be as independent as courts. Executive dominance in appointment, tenure, or removal violates separation of powers. Judiciary must play a decisive role in the functioning of such tribunals. Principle. Tribunals that take over traditional judicial functions must be insulated from executive interference. Checkmark 2. Judicial members must dominate the tribunal. For adjudication of civil and commercial disputes, judicial members must form the majority on every bench. Technical members can only assist, they cannot replace judicial functions. Principle. Only those with judicial training can decide legal disputes. Technical members cannot exercise core judicial powers. Checkmark 3. Selection committee must be judiciary-led. The court held that appointment of members should be headed by the Chief Justice of India or his nominee, free from executive domination. Principle. Judicial oversight in appointments is mandatory to ensure independence. Checkmark 4. Tenure and removal must protect independence. The court struck down short tenure and executive-controlled removal. Key requirements. Secure, sufficient tenure, minimum 5 years. Removal only through a judicial inquiry, not executive discretion. Principle. Tribunal members must have conditions of service similar to High Court judges to maintain independence. Checkmark 5. Technical members cannot become judicial members. Technical qualifications, like CA, CS, IAS, management backgrounds, cannot substitute judicial experience. Principle. Judicial posts require judicial qualifications. Technical expertise is supplementary, not primary. Checkmark 6. Tribunalization must not undermine the basic structure. Creation of tribunals is allowed only if they do not dilute judicial power. They do not erode High Court's constitutional role. They comply with checks and balances essential to the Constitution. Principle. Tribunals must strengthen, not weaken, the justice delivery system. Star short summary, perfect for exams. R. Gandhi Principles in 6 points. 1. Tribunals cannot be controlled by the executive. 2. Judicial members must dominate. Technical members are only supplemental. 3. Appointment must be by a judicial committee, CJI or nominee. 4. Secure tenure and judicial removal procedures are essential. 5. Only persons with judicial experience can be judicial members. 6. Tribunalization must not violate the basic structure, judicial independence. Star why R. Gandhi is important. This case became the constitutional benchmark for all later tribunal cases, including Madras Bar Association, 2015. Madras Bar Association, 2020. Madras Bar Association, 2021. The court uses R. Gandhi standards to test constitutionality of every tribunal law in India. If you want, I can also provide our own page chart, R. Gandhi vs. MBA, 2015, vs. MBA, 2020-21. A 5 mark, 10 mark exam answer. A memory trick to remember all principles. Would you like that? Here is a clear, concise, exam-oriented case brief of Embassy Property Developments Private Limited v. State of Karnataka and Oz. Manu, SC, 1661-2019, 2019 SCC Online South Carolina 1542, a landmark judgment on the jurisdiction of NCLT under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC, 2016. Star Embassy Property Developments Private Limited v. State of Karnataka, 2019. Supreme Court, Judgment, the 3rd of December 2019, Manu, SC, 1661-2019. Keycap 1 Background of the case. Corporate Insolvency Resolution Process, CIRP, was initiated under the IBC, 2016 against Tiffins Barities Asbestos and Paints Limited. TBAPL. The resolution professional, RP, sought renewal of a mining lease from the state government of Karnataka. The state government rejected the renewal request citing violations of mining laws. RP's action. The RP filed an application before the NCLT, Chennai, claiming that the rejection O violated the moratorium under Section 14 of IBC, and O was arbitrary, affecting the corporate debtors' assets. State's objection. The state argued that the issue relates to mining lease renewal, governed by the MMDR Act, 1957. NCLT has no jurisdiction to decide such matters. Keycap 2 issues before the Supreme Court. 1. Does NCLT have jurisdiction to examine the validity of a state government's decision under the MMDR Act during CIRP? 2. What is the scope of NCLT's powers under Section 60(5)(c) of IBC? Section 60(5)(c) gives NCLT jurisdiction over any question of law or fact arising out of or in relation to CIRP. Keycap 3 Supreme Court's decision held, NCLT, NCLAT cannot decide matters involving public law, sovereign functions, or statutory decisions under special laws like MMDR Act. The court ruled that NCLT had exceeded its jurisdiction in interfering with the state government's decision. Keycap 4 Key principles laid down. Most important, Keycap 1 NCLT's jurisdiction is limited, cannot decide matters of public law. NCLT is a creature of statute, IBC, and cannot adjudicate disputes arising from, sovereign functions or statutory decisions by the government or public law actions. Examples: mining lease renewal, environmental clearances, governmental permits. Such matters must be challenged before the High Court under Article 226. Keycap 2 Section 60(5)(c) IBC is broad but not unlimited. NCLT can decide issues arising out of insolvency, issues connected with CIRP, issues affecting the corporate debtors' assets during CIRP. But it cannot decide disputes that require examination of statutory powers of the state under other laws that fall under public law jurisdiction. Keycap 3 Moratorium under Section 14 does not freeze sovereign or statutory decisions. Moratorium applies to recovery actions or enforcement of security or legal proceedings against corporate debtor. It does not prevent the state from exercising statutory rights, rejecting renewal applications, taking regulatory decisions under special laws. Keycap 4 Proper forum for challenging government decisions equals High Court. The SC held, a decision under the MMDR Act must be challenged before the High Court, not NCLT, NCLAT. This preserves separation of powers between tribunals, commercial, insolvency matters, and High Courts, public law and constitutional matters. Keycap 5 Ratio Decidendi, Legal Principle. NCLT's jurisdiction under IBC does not extend to adjudicating disputes involving public law or statutory actions of the government. Such decisions must be challenged before constitutional courts. Keycap 6 Outcome. Supreme Court set aside NCLT's order. Held state government's decision could only be reviewed via writ jurisdiction. Restored matter to appropriate High Court. Keycap 7 Importance of the case. A clarified boundaries of NCLT powers. NCLT, NCLAT handle insolvency in corporate matters, not administrative or public law disputes. B. Ensured federal balance and separation of powers. Prevented tribunals from encroaching on the domain of high courts. C. Widely applied in later cases. used to restrict NCLT's jurisdiction in environmental clearances, mining leases, tax disputes, government licenses. Key Cap 8 exam-oriented answer, short version. Embassy Property, 2019, held. 1. NCLT cannot adjudicate disputes involving sovereign or statutory decisions under other special laws, like MMDR Act. 2. Section 60, 5c, IBC is broad but not limitless. 3. Moratorium under S14 does not prevent government from exercising regulatory powers. 4. Challenges to government decisions must be filed before high courts. This case clearly demarcates the jurisdictional boundary between NCLT and constitutional courts.